Okay. Good morning, everybody. Can those of us joining remotely, you can hear me, all looks good? You can do a thumbs up. Okay, Sarah says yes, we're good. Wonderful. All right, thank you. Good morning, everyone. We apologize for the tight quarters. We usually have a little bit more of the room, but that's all right. We're making it work. And we have some refreshments over here, which were provided by Mary Hastings BTA. So please help yourself. We also have some flyers and such here for those of us joining remotely, or those of you who already have too much stuff to carry. We'll copy each of those things, and those will go out with the minutes later. And good morning. I'm Cynthia Mitchell, and I am the chair of the Long-Term Care Council. I'm also nurse evaluator for the NHTD and TBI Medicaid waiver programs for sale, as well as the CDPA facilitator liaison with the PPL, well, at sale for the PPL program. So I think we'll do a quick hello to our exec committee who worked hard to make this all possible. I'm sorry.
Hi, I'm Dee with Warren Hamilton County's Office for the Aging in New York Next.
Welcome to Washington County, everyone. I'm Judy Mitchell, the director for Washington County's Office for Aging.
Hi everyone, Stephanie Rainey, the Washington County Training and Resource Development Coordinator on the New York Connects for Washington County Office for Aging. It was a little off, I don't know. Welcome.
Good morning, I'm Kathy Bear with Warren and Hamilton County's Office for the Aging and New York Connects.
I'm Erica Warnock with the Independent Living Center of the Hudson Valley, New York Connects for Warren, Washington, and Hamilton County, and the Secretary of the Long-Term Care.
Great, awesome. I do just want to take 1 second. This has been Erica's first year doing this, and we just want to thank you for the time and the detail, like from, she has to go find the backgrounds for all of the newsletters to make them, exciting and, visually pleasing, plus all the information and all the responses and all the things. So we just really thank you. You've done a lot of great work this year. We really, really appreciate you a lot. The next we'll start with motion to accept minutes from the last meeting. Anybody want it? Kathy motions, Steph second. Everybody's good with minutes from the last meeting? Excellent. A quick reminder about the long-term care digest, LTCC digest. Currently, we're doing it twice a month.
No, we're doing it it goes out every Monday.
Oh, that's right. Okay. We keep going back and forth. We're doing it every Monday because people are utilizing it more, which is fabulous. So there's more information going into it. And we found, a lot of people said it was a little less overwhelming. That being said, there is a lot of great information in the digest, so have a look at it. We do find that we get a lot of questions sometimes, and we're like, it's in there, and sometimes it's in there more than once, because we know, right? Like, we're all crazy busy, what have you. At this time, I think we're going to stick with the format that we are currently using, and perhaps we will revisit it at our December meeting of how that's going for everyone. Does that sound good to all? Fabulous. Any updates you want to send? Again, a reminder that it is a free way to get information out to a lot of people. You can send that to Wwh Ltcc at gmail.com. It's right on your minutes, and the minutes are going to get emailed out to everyone after today's meeting. So please feel free to use that. There's a lot of great information. I feel like it's getting used more and more. We also ask that if you have avenues to get it out to the community, if you have a Facebook page, if you have please share that, because the other barrier I feel like that we always have with this is that it's supposed to be not just the professionals, it's supposed to also include the community. And so we're always trying to find ways to add those. We are inviting our first responders, our religious entities, our community centers, sometimes schools. I feel like we have a blip where we'll send out this mass thing, and some will start coming, and that's amazing. And then You know, so if we can all just continue to push that, because, you know, I mean, as we all know, what's the use of talking about all these things if the people who actually utilize them are not at the table? So that's, you know, the other piece to this puzzle that we keep on trying to find the best way to make that happen. This morning, our spotlight agency is CDTA and Mary Hastings, who brought, our goodies. Again, please help yourself. And today's theme is empowering our community, sharing resources and care for every step of the journey. A reminder that while we're called the Long-Term Care Council, it is New York Connects, which is from the moment a person is born to their last day here. So it is meant to be across the spectrum of the need of a human being living in our communities. So, you know, we want to make sure that we stress that. It's a little bit of a misnomer, and as you all know, if anybody knows me, that's always been a little bit of a, for me, like I wish we could change it, but is what it is. So our first presenter today is going to be Tim with Washington County Public Safety. Take it away. Do you want, are you gonna run it? Do you want me to click whatever?
Yeah,
you-
I'll be okay.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm not going to bore you to death. We'll get right down to the important stuff. You want to look there, not there, right? All right, let's see.
If you just go back to click on that, that's, it should be what's sharing on the screen for everybody.
Are you sharing already?
There,
Yeah, right?
You're not sharing your screen.
So, there. Good.
There.
Alright. So.
yes. That's
All right, so the PowerPoint is pretty quick and to the point for a reason. When we talk about, I'm Tim Hardy, the Deputy Director of Washington County's Department of Public Safety. So without a slide, what is the Department of Public Safety? Every county is a little bit different. So here, the Department of Public Safety is charged with running the emergency management operations for the county, running the county's 911 center, overseeing EMS, fire, their EMS coordinators, countywide response to EMS. We don't have our own ambulances or anything, although we're in the process of making moves to have our own ALS or advanced life support. First response vehicles that are equipped with county paramedics that work for the county and responding to assist the agencies. We actually are in the process of doing a gap ambulance coverage system that we were lucky enough to get a state grant to start, where we'll actually contract with an existing ambulance agency to provide an ambulance for 12 hours a day, 4 to 5 days a week until the money runs out, to provide additional coverage in our communities for some that may be struggling. Just like most of, or really every county in here, with the exception of the city of Glens Falls, nobody else actually has a paid municipal EMS agency. Everybody does have a paid agency of some sort, but none of them actually work for the government, except actually Lake George does now, so there's paid. But other than that, they're volunteer agencies that have paid people in the majority of places. So just Washington County, that's all we have. We have no commercial agencies. We don't have anything like that. So we're relatively not unique in terms of all of you. But our problems are the same as yours, right? We all have a limited number of people and a lot of emergencies. So fire operations for the county fire coordinator, fire investigators that support all of those needs, and then the countywide hazmat team. We do a lot internally here at the county, inside county operations, working with other departments on coordinating the need for emergency resources, preparedness planning, those kind of things, which Gina loves to suck me in anything.
You're a great partner.
Yes.
Thank you.
Right. This is something that we have kind of transitioned to. So in the past, we've used the State Citizen Preparedness Corps, which is the, Army National Guard. So they go out, they've been tasked by the state. There are a certain division of the Army National Guard that's tasked with delivering preparedness classes to anybody who needs them. The classes are great, the content are good, they're open to interacting with people. We've taken that a step further and we kind of have developed our own program, but we still work with the Citizen Preparedness Corps. The information you're going to get is the same. We really try to simplify it for the people that we're visiting with. We don't need 2 hours with them unless they want to spend 2 hours with us. So we have been out to some of the pop-up meal sites. We've been to any of the senior luncheons, those kind of things. Gina's been very open. The fall festival, we've been there before. And we try and just engage with the population that our Office for the Aging and Disabilities Resource Center works with, but not just them, anybody, right? We've been to schools, you name it, we've been there. And the most important thing that we can get out is this. It's very simple. It's one slide. When you want to talk about being prepared for an emergency, there's a whole bunch of things that we don't think about unless you're somebody who stays up all night thinking about these things like me. But the very first one is the most important. I always say is if you don't know something's happening, you can't be prepared. I mean, you can be prepared, but you don't know how to react or respond to it. So the biggest thing, just like all of you, we have is connecting with the people. I heard you talking about your newsletter, engaging people to sign up for New York Connects or whatever it is. We all know the biggest struggle is how do we get them to do it? So that's the first thing we always stop at is we want to be able to connect with you, because if we can't tell you that something's wrong, or we can't tell you where to go when you have a problem, you're kind of on your own, right? We can go through the classes and best prepare you for that, but we want to be able to engage. So just for me, I'm going to flip like 2 slides ahead. This is something that I'm sure you all have seen within the last 6 months. The state put out a new push where they created this 333-111 that you can text 333-111. Like that's what you put in your text address and you just text your county name to that. So you type in 333-111 in the to address of a text message. And then in the actual body of the text message, you just put your county name, Warren, Washington, Templeton. It will automatically sign your cell phone up for notifications of certain types, major weather, utility outage. So the only thing that I caution with this is information that the state puts out. So the weather stuff is going to be very similar to anything you're going to get here. If you take that one step further and you sign up for NY Alert, you will get all of that stuff, plus you'll get anything that we send out as the county, anything that Warren sends out as the county, who also uses NY Alert. So what actually we've done, and this is my favorite exercise of everything, is everybody take out your cell phones. If you're gonna get me here and you want me to talk, you have to do it. So what we try to do when we go anywhere, when we're at our county fair, we're at the student picnic, we're at the fall festival, is when we have those people right there at our table or they're talking to us, is hey, do you follow us online? Have you engaged, signed up for NY Alert? No. The majority of them are absolutely great. We had an elderly couple at the senior picnic who rolled right in and turned into like a 38-minute conversation, but that's okay. Rolled right in, they popped their phone out, they're like, I don't know how to do any of this. So by the end of the day, they knew how to use QR codes and they were happier. I think they're. But yes,
This is not, for some reason, it's frozen and it's not going through the people online.
awesome.
It's your first screen is what's up there.
Huh,
All right, let me try to unshare. Share again. Let's try it again.
If it doesn't end up working, Tim, if you just wanna send me the PowerPoint, I'll put it out. the notes.
Absolutely. We're probably just gonna blame it on IT because that's what.
There we go.
there it is.
All right.
Okay.
Good deal. Now I just need to be able to see it again. That's lucky for me. I know where it says. All right, so as long as they can see the presentation. So if you can take out your phone real quick, you don't have to like, follow, do whatever. I just want you to scan the QR code. So what we've done here. And I should have took a screenshot of it, so it would look like you do it. If you just scan it, and you can do it on the paper in front of you, you don't have to look like one of those weird people who's trying to get the T's with. It will bring you to what we call a link tree, right? It has a bunch of links. So it has the link to our website, which is horrible. We're in the process of redoing the entire county's website, which is gonna be a very welcome update for us. But it takes you to all the other places that we exist online. So we have a Facebook page, we have X, Twitter, whatever you wanna call it. We have our own mobile app. That's one of the biggest things that when we get to engage with people, download it. It's free. We push out notifications. You can get weather alerts. One of the most beneficial parts that we find of our mobile app is it will actually allow you to build your own family response or family emergency response plan right on the mobile app. Pop in names, locations. You can share your location on there. So if you're sending a message to your daughter that says you're okay, You don't know how to do it through Apple, you could literally do it right from our app, it will send a message to them with a pinpoint of your location. And that is not something that nobody's charged for, we're not keeping your personal data like any of that, we just wanna make everything accessible to people. And more counties are doing that, Warren County has an app, I'm not sure about Hamilton, but we work very closely with Warren County. We're talking to those ladies every day, all the time, I mean, we all go to the same meetings, we're responding to the same emergencies. So I'm sure you guys, any of you from Warren County may have seen us over there, you certainly will see them here. But when we do our LEPC meetings, they're part of it, we bring them in the group, because we know we're touching the same population. Whether that's hospitals, nursing homes, everyday people in our community, we're all sharing. So when we talk about this, connecting with people is the most important, you can have all the greatest information, if nobody knows where to get it, where to find it, how to do it. It's absolutely useless, it's really cool on a Facebook page, but if people aren't using it, it's useless, so that's the first thing we do is encourage that, I'll go back to my 12 ways to prepare now. So that's number one on everything we do, is if you don't know what's going on, it's very hard for you to respond to it, right? Now we get into the planning part of it. Is when we talk about making a plan, what's important about a plan, you guys all know you're engaging with people back in your own communities and your organizations. The best way is to know what you're going to do ahead of time, right? Whether we're talking about, God forbid, an active shooter, which there's lots of discussion around now. You talk about your workplaces, we're talking about how to prepare for what, everything, bomb threat, fire, evacuation, gas leak, active shooter, any act of violence. So making a plan within your own household, sit down with our seniors. We talk about what would you do, who would you call, how would you know? When do you want to think about those things? You want to think about them now, because in an emergency, what happens? You panic. Even first responders in an emergency, there are lots of first responders that can focus on what's right in front of them. They're great at doing one task. When there's 10 things going on, it's too much for all of us. So we talk about this ahead of time. Save for a rainy day, who doesn't want to have more money? We all want to have more money and know where you have access to that money. When we talk especially to those people who have their own homes, to our seniors, is do you know how to access your money if there's no internet? Or do you have money at home in a safe place if you don't? Those are one of those things we all think about now with all the cybersecurity concerns. You know, the majority, I would say, almost every bank is secured by the FDIC, everything else. But when you lose the ability to know that your money is in there, that's scary for people. I'm not telling you to put it in your pillow, that's not safe either. But just know that ahead of time, right? How do you access that? If you need immediate local financial resources, do you have enough? And do you know how to get to them? Practicing emergency drills. We start doing it when we're like 2 years old, right? You go do it right up through high school. When we get to be adults, we don't think about it anymore. You know, typically it's maybe you and your wife, or maybe you and an older child. But practicing emergency drills are important. The more we practice, the more we're able to put it into use when we need it in an emergency. Family communication plan, that's the biggest thing you want to know. You might know who to call, but if I walk into your house and you have an emergency, I have no idea who I should call for you. If you don't have somebody else with you. So when you guys do Vial of Life, I mean, you guys all have resources that you push out there. Those are great for people like us. When we get there, we don't know who to call for you if you don't have those things in place. So we're always encouraging all of those elements of testing your family communication plan. How do you get a hold of your daughter? Do you know where she lives? Do you know how many people have no idea what their parents' address is? I mean, we take calls from adult children all the time. I'm worried about my mom. Where does she live? I don't know, she lives in Mechanicville across from the CVS, that's awesome. Send me a picture of her house and we'll start knocking on doors, but in all seriousness, right, what's her address? Do you know what apartment she's in? And the same thing, the majority of parents, my age anyway, you know where your child lives because they want you to send them money and stuff. But it's important to know those things ahead of time, and it's great when, you know, my dad hates technology, he has a flip phone, he just got a new one 6 months ago. He has no phone number programmed into there, so he literally still pulls out a piece of paper out of his pocket when he wants to call me because he doesn't remember any of the numbers, and starts dialing the phone number every time. And if he loses the paper, I'm like, what are you gonna do? He said, I have no idea. I said, great. So he made a copy of it, and he has a second one at home. But talking about those things ahead of time are great conversations to have because it's not something they think about until it happens to them. I know I've seen programs locally here with RFA, you guys probably have them through the safeguarding of documents or pre-scanning of documents. Very important in today's day and age, if you have a home fire, you have a flood, we're seeing more and more disasters like that, you lose something. I mean, I lose things all the time, I scan everything for a reason, because at least I know I have it electronically if I lose the real one. But safeguarding a document, so you have a safe place at home, that's great, you have an alternate copy of that, we all know how long it takes to get anything from the government. Right, it's not easy, you have to go through 28 steps, so making sure that you're taking those precautions ahead of time. And again, a lot of folks are not thinking about these things. Plan with your neighbors. We have encountered a number of times in the last few years, we have, over in the town of Hebron. We've had extended power outages, 2, 3, 4 day power outages. The neighbors over there are resilient, they check on each other. But they're doing that because they know that's their community and that's what they do. If you had the village of Hudson Falls, most of them hate their neighbors and don't talk to anyone. So it really depends on what your kind of environment is around, right? The resources that are available in the village of Hudson Falls are not the same resources that are available as quickly in the town of Hebron, right? People are more spread out, it's harder to get those kind of things there. The amount of buildings and access to stores, those kind of things aren't the same. So using your neighborhood of people around you, good, bad, and different, to know whether that's checking on each other or knowing if I have an emergency at my house, I'm coming at yours. That is something we strongly encourage. Our seniors, our regular people in our community, anybody that we're able to be able to contact with is to know that. We do a little bit of a home safety program that between myself or Glenn, the director, or Phil or Brad, our safety officers, have come out and done some presentations with OFA about talking about home safety and making your home safe before we end it. And we focus mostly on using ladders and tripping hazards, all things that exist. If you go visit your parents, you know that there's stuff all over the place. My dad's very neat and tidy, but he thinks nothing of stepping on a chair to do this or that. And right, those are things that we talk about, and they don't think about until it's a major issue. And I always get really concerned when we're talking about our seniors. I'll use my dad again as an example. He wants to do everything himself. He's 72 years old, he's mobile. He'll climb a ladder higher than I will, because he's been doing it his entire life. And I always say to him, well, what's gonna happen if you break your head? Well, that won't happen. I'm like, well, it will happen, so you just never think about it. Unfortunately, it happens every day, we get to see it on the other side. But talking about those things and making sure the safety measures are in place, and it's not that they don't know about them, they know. They just choose to skirt around them because it saves a couple of minutes here or there, they get in a hurry. So just reviewing those kind of things, evacuation routes, knock on wood, we don't have to do a lot of evacuations. But we are seeing floods, we're seeing a lot more wildfires. Do we have an area that's prone to having the entire thing on fire? No. Not right now anyway, but we're starting to see it creep up from downstate. Certainly there are wildland areas where we're starting to see larger and larger fires come our way. It's getting drier. We went from having a spring that was one of the wettest springs on record to now we're in the middle of a drought and everything is extremely dry. And I would say things don't happen, but we saw in Whitehall over the winter, right? The entire village municipal water supply, there was no water for 3 days. I would never have imagined that other than for a broken pipe. It wasn't because of a broken pipe, it was because the supply was running low. That's not something that most municipalities with a water system even think about. They think about a boil water break and that's the extent of what would you do, right? You go out, you fix the pipe, you're back up and running. What happens if you don't have any supply? You're not, I mean, you take that, that's a great example of they have a 700,000 gallon, I think it's like 750 actually. 750,000 gallon holding tank. Do you have any idea how many water tankers it would take to fill that? In one day? You don't have enough, right? There's no way to get that much water to a place like that. If you're using 600,000 gallons of water a day, the biggest tanker you're gonna find is what? 10,000, maybe 15,000 gallons? So those are things that we say, hey, this is important that we have supplies on hand, that we understand what we would do in those kind of emergencies. We talk about supplies, what do you want? You want enough for you for 3 to 5 days. I mean, we're not saying 10, 20, 30 days. There are people who have that stuff. There are people, I'm sure you all know, that you go into their basement and they got everything stocked up. My dad, you go into his basement, he has everything. Most of them are expired. He thinks, this is my favorite story to get to tell though. He loves Sam's Club. He thinks that I must do nothing but walk around online all day long, because he'll call me at any time of the day and say, are you right by your computer? Yes, why? But I'm at work. Well, I need you to order me something. I'm like, is it a fire extinguisher? Because I'm at work right now. 2 weeks later, yes. It's coffee pods, it's toilet papers, whatever he wants to order. But talking about supplies is talking about what you would need to be able to sustain yourself. We didn't think about things like toilet paper before COVID, and it was difficult to get it. Right, but it is something that, hey, guess what happens? We all know now in the winter, when we know a big storm's coming, you go to Hannaford, what happens if you wait till the last minute?
No toilet paper.
Well, you're getting whatever's left over, it's not your food. So when we talk about those kind of things, it's what would you want for yourself and the people that are in your home for 3 to 5 days if you couldn't get anywhere? If you were locked in or you didn't want to go to the store, it's talking about that kind of stuff that's important. And then getting involved in your community, a lot now, there's a lot of people who are just apprehensive about it, right? They don't want to get involved. But we make avenues available for them if they do. Whether it's getting involved in a community emergency response team, a CERT, or a citizen preparedness group. We had a very active citizen preparedness group over the town of Hebron. After those last couple of events, they opened up a warming shelter, they opened up a cooling center, and that was something they did solely on their own. They saw a need over there that they had a couple of incidents. They worked with the town gave them a space, there was no real budget, they were doing it just based on whatever they could get together. But they're a resource for someone like us when we need a warming center, a cooling center. We make a phone call, they go to the town hall, they're allowed half the place, we can get them some supplies if they need it, and they're ready to go. But there's other really great things like the Red Cross, who is not only doing things here, but obviously they're doing things globally. The Red Cross is a great partner of ours. They sit at all of our LEPC meetings, they participate in all of our weather preparedness, whether it's summer or those kind of things. And they bring more resources than we have. And we talk about cots and food and those kind of things. When you need large scale resources, they're great partners. I always like to mention the Salvation Army is another one that has been very good to us. They've been active in our meetings. Knock on wood, we haven't needed a lot of those resources. In Whitehall, the Salvation Army actually sent their meal truck up there. They were making lunch for anybody who didn't have running water and couldn't make lunch. But those are resources the majority of people don't think about, but they are available. And then the last thing on our 12 steps is document and insure your property. Why? Because if you don't take pictures of it and know now, if you've ever had to deal with your insurance agent, it's not that your agent doesn't want to be helpful, it's the people that actually are going to release the money sometimes are the hardest ones. So we encourage people, inventory your home, take pictures. You get something new, the picture will be there forever if you save it. If you lose that item, you can accurately explain it to someone else. You can show what the serial number is. And these are all, we make it this way with the check boxes for a reason. So when we hand those out to people, you can just roll right through and check them off at your convenience. You don't have to do them all in one day. You don't have to do them all, with the same people. Maybe you need to engage other members of your family, those kind of things. And that's really our quick 12 steps. Now, I know you wanted me to talk about winter weather preparedness real quick.
Yes, please.
So talking about winter weather, what are our concerns here for winter weather? We laugh the 5 Ps including plants. I don't really care about my plants, but some people do. When you talk about protecting your plants in the winter, I don't have any. If they all died outside my house, it'd be perfect. I have like hosta plants that just run them over the lawnmower and they keep coming back. So protect plants. If those matter to you, cover them, make sure they're there, right? They last a long time. Hosta plants last forever. Like I said, they just keep coming back. But fire safety is my number one. Right, we see too many home fires in the winter. One fatal fire is too many. And we have seen way too many in our communities, Warren, Washington, Saratoga, Rensselaer, Hamilton. Right, we see way too many. And the majority of them are preventable with good smoke detectors or carbon monoxide detectors. There are programs available for those of you, I know Gina and her group know here, we work with the Red Cross. The Red Cross has the home fire program that if we have somebody who needs a smoke alarm, we gather their information, we connect them, we get somebody out there to be able to install that for them. A lot of times local fire departments will do it. We will always offer it up to the local fire department first if they do it on their own. Some of them have their own programs. We want the local fire departments in those homes doing that if they're doing it. Why? Because they have an opportunity to engage with the community and the resident that they're going to be the ones responding. It's not going to be me showing up to their home fire. not unless it's large, right? It's gonna be the first responder, the fire department that right there in their own community. It gets them the understanding of what their house is like, lets them ask questions and concerns. And even with the Red Cross program, depending on who it is that we send to do the installation, there's a bit of a checklist. They're like any other organization, they have paperwork. There's a bit of a checklist, but that's what it talks about is understanding evacuation plans and what are the hazards in your home if you don't know what they are. And a lot of people don't even know, you live in a community in the village, you don't know if you have natural gas, you can ask a lot of people. And I don't mean elderly people, you're gonna have a 25-year-old person, like, I don't know, I turn my heat on, it comes on. I think I got oil, you don't have oil, you have natural gas, they don't know, they don't understand that. So you have the opportunity to have those conversations when you have a one-on-one with a family if you're visiting us. But we talk about working smoke and carbon monoxide detectors, evacuation plans, and making sure you know where you can go if you have one of those kind of emergencies. The other big thing we're seeing a lot of with the power outages is generators and just encouraging them to make sure they're using them safely. Right, a lot of people have a shed or they have a basement. We've seen a couple where we've been to with a carbon monoxide activation afterwards, where they have a basement and the exhaust is back feeding into a portion of the house. And they don't know it until the carbon monoxide detector goes off. Luckily, they had one and we weren't responding to a much sadder type incident. But those are things just if you're engaging with people there. Protect people, I mean, first ourselves, right? We can't help anyone else if we're not taking care of ourselves. So if we're going out in winter weather, we're making sure we're wearing appropriate clothing, not getting frostbite, not turning ourselves into something someone has to rescue. You think about it when you leave the house, if you bring it all with you, you don't need to worry about it. You can always stop at CVS and Dollar General, buy whatever you want, sell it to you. But I know if you go in the back of my car, I have about 28 4-day Cardinal sweatshirts and hats because you just hand them out like wherever when people are cold and freezing. But is preparing ahead of time, right? Throw that stuff in your car. I don't have a shovel, but you encourage people to have a shovel in your car. Why? My daughter's at Sienna now, and she's never had to clean her car off in the winter because she's been home. So I've done it every time. Go in her car to shovel, and I don't even know if she'll know how to use it, but that was. He realized that they don't plow the parking lots very good there, and they expect you to move your car when they expect you to move your car, so you're probably gonna end up needing to shovel around your tire. Literally, when I put it in there, she's like, what's that for? So I tried to talk with her. Well, you better find a guy friend that you like down there. Or she actually does have a tough roommate who's way tougher than me, she'll do it, she'll probably lift the car up. So protecting yourself, pets is another one, if it's too cold for you, it's too cold for them, right? Same thing in the summertime, if it's too hot for you, it's too hot for them. They can go out, go to the bathroom, we need to make sure that we're taking care of our pets. They are, I mean, anybody who's got one, you know that it's a very important member of your family. And we're all sad when something happens to them, but taking care of them ahead of time. We know they need to be outdoors for certain things. They need their time to be able to run and use the restroom and other things. But we want to make sure that we have appropriate shelter, water, those kind of things for them. The last thing we talk about, and we've seen a couple of these, you get a snap of cold, is lots of broken pipes. People think, well, I'm just gonna call the fire department and they can fix my pipes. The fire department can't fix your pipes. They're not plumbers. We have to turn around, and it's heartbreaking to turn around and say, I'm sorry, you have to call a plumber, right? They'll come help you shut your water off because your basement's full of water because the pipes broke, but you're stuck waiting for a plumber. So it's not something you think about until we start seeing more and more of those cold snaps. And obviously our environment weather-wise is changing, good, bad, and different. The reasons why, I'm not sure what they all are, depends on who you ask, is whatever the reason you're gonna get, but we all know it's changing. It's colder, sometimes we see more snow, we see less snow, but deeper cold temperatures. And certainly this summer, it's been hot, it was hot nonstop, now it's kind of like nice. My perfect time here. So we talk about things like that, looking for other hazards around your home. Do you have exposed pipes? Do you have ways that, things are getting into your house? So that's really our 5 Ps of the cold weather. And then we're back to signing up for notifications. I will send you the presentation, you can send it out. Just remember, in all of your own counties, you have great emergency management offices, I know all of them. So they probably all do the same things that we do, we might do them a little bit differently, but they're great resources for your own people. At least if you're an organization in Washington County and you want anything, you can give us a call, we'll gladly help however we can. Well, sometimes we're able to point you in the right direction, sometimes there's not much I can do, but make sure that we make connections with people, so nobody's left hanging. The last thing I'll talk about, quickly, not on a presentation, but is our vulnerable population registry that's actively maintained by our ADRC staff or OFA staff. That's something that we coordinate, we push that out, we encourage people to sign up for that. It's in person, it's online, you can do it over the phone. The best part is if you do it online, one of them will reach out always and confirm all that information. You're just dumping it into an online forum. They're gonna call, make that connection, make sure that all the information we have is correct. Because in an emergency, if we have a 2-day power outage, a 3-day power outage, we wanna know those people in our community that don't have access to resources or that we need to be concerned about. And we have 60,000 people here, there's no way for us to know unless they're on a registry like that. Or they have a neighbor who's concerned about them, or a family that's concerned about them. So that is one thing, especially as we get closer to winter, we can push that out. It is on, it's on our app, it's on all the stuff, just about all it's on. So. What do you have for questions? None? Very good.
First question I have is, do you have, for the 12 ways, for your 12 steps, do you have detailed lists? We have to walk people through some of this, just like your dad, who's never gonna put those names in, he needs someone who helps him get those names in. Do you have a list that gives us more detail about, well, how do we plan an evacuation? How do we set up for communication with our family? Because we're assuming that people understand it when we give them that tip. But they don't understand.
So, yes and no, we have about 12 different places, I mean, luckily for me, I have it in my head, but. I can get you something that you can use that will break it down, like 5 bullet points for each one of those that are either examples of how you can or where you can go to build a plan. Like, that's what we encourage, is using our other resources, so when we talk about making a plan. We pull up the app while we're sitting down with them and say, hey, let's go through and make your family plan. When they see how easy it is, they're like, wow, I never even thought. But you talk to, depending on who you're talking to and what their level of technological capability is. Some of them are really excited, some of them are apprehensive, don't want anything to do with it. That's okay, we have them on paper, we have them on everything else too. But I can get you a list that at least breaks down some steps for each of the 12.
And if you wanna forward it to just the digest, we can get it out to the
Sure.
minutes. Yeah, absolutely. Or that's the digest to the. Council? Yeah, to the council. You got it.
Yes, ma'am.
I think also a suggestion I would make is when you're preparing your emergency kit. That's something we need to revisit every so often, make sure that things are not outdated, expired, batteries, whatever that may be, so.
Yep, so actually, I did bring one with me, but. This is my favorite thing, because we bring these to like the senior picnics. And it's like the hottest commodity at the place. If you turn away for like 30 seconds, someone's snagging the thing and walking away. And I'm like, I promise you, that anything,
Yeah, I'm gonna be.
Right away.
I was gonna say, don't open it. I accidentally grabbed the wrong one. That one actually has my gas mask in it. I'm not joking. But anyways, you did a great job. So remember that anything the state gives you, it's full of tools. It's full of duct tape, it's got work gloves, it's got water pouches. Like there's 5 water pouches in there, right? It's for one person. We actually have other kits. We have a shelter in place kit that's for one family for a week. That we raffled one of those off this year at our senior picnic down there. But there are varying levels, but 100%, what you put in there obviously doesn't last forever. So it's important, 1, to know where it is, because if it moves around or you have multiple of them. And 2, to make sure that everything still in there is in there. Here's another thing that I can tell you about my daughter. Is that she knows that I have one of these that are in the mudroom of my house actually. And it has duct tape and all those cool things in it. Well, it had duct tape in it. And I'm not kidding you, one day she said, hey, do you have any more duct tape? And I'm like. Yeah, what? She's like, well, I used the one out of that bag and I would have never known if she didn't say that she used the one out of the bag. So surprisingly, is if you make something out, make sure you replace it because you'll want it when you don't have it. But yeah, great point.
The registry for vulnerable population, how, will you just clarify for me, can somebody put someone else on that list? Like, can I tell my friends, hey, make sure your parents are on it, make sure your grandparents are on
So there are criteria to get on. I could try and pull it up here.
it? Okay,
Pull it up. We'll see.
and what exactly happens once they're identified?
So-
I'm just gonna jump in.
Go ahead, Stephanie.
Sorry. So we maintain that, we send that out every month with our community connections, asking people if they'd like to join it. And it is a list that's maintained in the New York Connects call center. It's not as if, there's not a ton of people on it because it's for a reason, like, we're not evacuating people, we are not your emergency response. We need to make sure that if you give us a name tag, that we're going to be contacting that person to make sure they're appropriate to be on that list. We're gonna screen them for other services, and I would say a good, like, maybe 70% really aren't appropriate, like, they live with people, they have people in their home. They're trying to put their, like, disabled child on, yet they're the caretaker, and they're the ones that are gonna be the ones that are gonna be responsible to, you know, assist this person in an emergency. So we don't wanna give the impression that we're going to your house and we are rescuing you and we are saving you, we are not. Your power goes out, or say like there's a winter storm, like Tim said, for a couple of days, you will get a check-in phone call from us. You might get the meals drivers going in and checking on you. Neighbors call and say, I haven't heard from my neighbor in a couple of days. Regardless if they're on that list or not, we will take action to make sure that person is safe. So appropriate people to be on that list, live alone, have nobody else, really kind of incapacitated, disabled, special needs that we might need to pass along to Tim and other emergency responders. And we do share that information throughout the organization, so in real time, if there's an emergency off hours, we can all access this list. And the phone calls will be divvied up and made, in an emergency situation. We will send somebody to that person's residence, but just the misconception is that we are here going to your house and saving you and rescuing you, and it's not it, but to do that. Yeah, right. But anyone that is looking for information or to be added to that list, can always contact me. You can send it to the executive long-term care council committee, or just go ahead and give me a call and we can get that and I'm sure Tim would love to field questions.
Yeah, we can do it too. Sir.
Yeah.
Elderly residents that use use flip phones can get alerts. So
Oh, let's talk about it here.
I've got your dad's telephone number on my.
Same exact phone, by the way, so let me tell you, anybody. Well, I'll use a different example, so when they put out like the extreme weather hazard alerts, you know, you get we call them iPause alerts, it sets off all your phone, you get them for Amber alerts and everything else. Well, when that thing goes off, my dad has no idea how to shut it down. Like, if you don't acknowledge the message, it will just keep going.
Yes, well.
So he has called me before and he's like, I'm so sick of this thing, I'm about to throw it out the window. I'm like, can you just, he lives like an hour away. I'm like, can you just stop at a Stewart's and hand it to the person? I'm not kidding, I have literally said that. He's like, I'm just gonna throw this thing. Well, then you'll have to go buy a new phone. I don't care. I'm like, all right. So nonetheless, yes, you can sign up for text messages on those. The 333-111 works. Just know you won't get messages. So if Warren County puts out a boil water alert, 333-111 won't get that message. There's a specific criteria that they will get. Weather alerts, utility alerts, like major power outages, those kind of things. That's why we always encourage people, you can do that. But if you sign up for NY Alert or you reach out to us and we manually sign you up for that, you download our app, you're gonna have access to a lot more information than you're gonna. Even if you have a flip phone, and we can still sign you up for NY Alert with a flip phone. You don't need to have a smartphone, you don't need any of that stuff. Now, I think doesn't read QR codes, but maybe. But I totally understand what you mean.
I can't go to a ball game without with my son.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, 'cause you gotta have the ballpark app now and everything. I know. The vulnerable populations registry, just to touch on it really, so we do have access to that in real time, like Steph said, when somebody signs up, we have the ability to pull that up. A lot of times it's busy, so I'll reach out to Gina and say, Gina, can you give me the list? Here's the area we're focusing on. They'll put that together and send it over. If they haven't made positive contact with people, we will make a list and send people door to door to knock on doors and check on those people. And you know, we don't do it the first day of an emergency. We get into the second 24 hours. The other thing that we have worked strongly with is NYSEG and National Grid. They both have their own version of, they call them critical customers. So we encourage anybody who's on any type of life support system zone, make sure you're signing up with National Grid and NYSEG. That's the only way that they know that you're dependent on that. And it does not mean that your power will never go out, because you can be on a ventilator, your power's going out, it's going out, it just means they know that you're there. And they're gonna send somebody to check and knock door to door. If they can't reach you, they'll turn around and call us to send somebody out. But when we get into these type of things, it's important. We've used it a number of times. You know, the problem that we've encountered, and Steph and Gina too, is the buy-in, is getting people to do it. Right? The more that they know about it, the more that we talk about it, the more that people get interested and say, oh, I wanna make sure I have my parents on there. Or, you know, I have somebody who's disabled that I wanna make sure we get on there. We do another little bit of thing in our dispatch center here that if you know that we have a disabled resident, maybe they're wheelchair bound, those kind of things, and we get that information back from someone in the community, fire chief, law enforcement, OFA, we can flag that address. So if we have an emergency there, especially something like a fire, there's a wheelchair bound resident in that in that address or something like that. We don't have a ton of those. We have more of those because of other types of situations in the community that are cautions for first responders, but there are ways in which you can flag that type of information too. But any level of being prepared for it is great on our side and yours.
And then I just wanted to like kind of, from a New York Next perspective, anyone that's working in a New York Next call center, just really just gathering information. Make sure people update their emergency contacts and just asking people to ask them. Like we have a lot of people in these situations on these lists, their emergency contacts from Florida, Texas, wherever the case may be. In a real emergency, your emergency contacts in Texas is not going to be much of assistance to you in Hebron. So like Tim said, preparing with your neighbors, but thinking about that, who can be your close emergency contact? So when we're talking about these lists and these phone calls and all of that, if we're not getting in touch with you, you've given us consent to reach your emergency contact. So when we're trying to contact somebody in Florida to get somebody in Salem, I mean, it's just a runaround. So if they have somebody that's local, even if it's a neighbor, not a family, give us everybody, but just encouraging that conversation of have a local contact, have somebody that you can plan with your neighbor, and update your information regularly.
Especially phone numbers, because they
Yes.
just change a lot.
So important.
So I saw there was an article in the Chronicle about how Hebron's getting a cell phone tower. Do you guys know if there's any talk about other areas getting cell phone towers? Because I live in Stony Creek, so I live in the middle of nowhere, and there's no cell service for 10 minutes. It's a 10-minute drive to get cell service. So, and it's an elderly community, and there's no way to get a hold of anybody if there's no power. And sometimes the Stony Creek power will go out for 3-4 days. So it's a huge issue. And we have, like, within our community, we've made a list of, people to stop by their houses and check on stuff. But do you know if there's talks in the other counties about cell towers going in?
So there's talks everywhere. So a lot of the broadband stuff that is above my head, being done on a legislative level, is pushing a lot more of that. Obviously, cellular is coming with the broadband, but I'm still amazed that in 2025 that we have areas that struggle. Obviously the Hebron situation, came about. They will have great cell service afterwards. We still have a lot of other communities that you drive through and you cell service just like you get up towards Hewlett's Landing. If you don't have AT&T and you're at the point of Hewlett's Landing, you have no cell service until you make it to Putnam. And unfortunately, people driving the boat on that, right, are the cell companies.
Yeah.
And their focus is on where they're gonna get the most subscribers. I do think you're gonna continue to see it expand. I don't think it's where any of us would like to see it as of now, because we are so reliant on technology to be able to reach out and get a hold of people. But we strongly encourage, please don't get rid of your home phone. I mean, I know it's expensive, but 90% of the time your home phone works. The hard part, I think, for a lot of people is you don't know that if you get your home phone, Spectrum comes in, I will switch you over, it's all great, it works just like your home phone.
On your
It doesn't until you have no power, you have no internet, and then you have no phone.
Verizon.
Right, Verizon Copper, they're trying to get out of the business. We struggle, we have places like over in the town of Hebron where everything's very remote. That Verizon, a piece of copper will go down, they won't have any phones for, 2 weeks until the town supervisor calls us and says, anybody over there, they filed trouble tickets. So all of them have their problems, but if you're in an area where you really have no cell service, that's something to make sure that you at least have some capability. But we don't, unfortunately, we don't get to drive the boat. If we do, every once in a while, we do get asked as part of the broadband thing. We focused on some areas that we gave to our planning and economic development folks. So these are areas that really need attention that don't have, You know, they don't have a ton of subscribers, but they don't have any service either, so when somebody's
Right.
driving through there, they got nothing. And if someone's looking to move there or looking to build a business there, they're not gonna do it because there's no connectivity pieces. Some of the cell towers though are really driven by the ability to have fiber access, and a lot of those communities are starting to get fiber. So I do think you'll see more cell towers pop up because they'll be able to connect to the fiber network. It's just a lot less expensive than them having to put in microwaves to get their signal. And I'm not sure about Stony Creek, I know the cell companies are very guarded over what they tell anybody. We only knew a short time before the even one started to be discussed, because they really don't want people to know for whatever proprietary reasons are. I didn't read the article yet, was it bad?
I didn't read the whole article, I just saw it pop up on my email, the Chronicle, before I left to come here, so I haven't read the whole thing yet.
I knew she asked a bunch of questions, but I didn't see how it came. All right, well, if you guys need anything, you're, oh, sure, yeah. Remember, I'll be.
So you'll be hearing from me soon. We just received, like he's like, oh,
I know.
I can see all. We just received, I wanna say over like maybe 1,200 QR code medical bracelets.
I was just gonna say something about those.
And so, what we're hoping to do is come up with a process soon. On how to distribute them, but certainly we wanna partner with public safety. All of EMS, EMTs, and work together to try to get these out to our constituents. So we're very excited about that. Again, that's something that kind of ties into, preparedness, contact information, medical history and such, and. Thanks.
And I think what we'll do.
That's all right.
But one more thing, we apologize, your name is spelled on the, actually, Hardy Party, HARDY. not
Yeah,
Hardy, so
Ashley was like, oh.
I don't take offense to that.
We'll fix that.
If you don't know how to spell my name, you can't get a hold of me. All right, thank you guys. If you need something, just shout.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you.
Sure.
You really appreciate it. Appreciate you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, and just, for those of you who have been to some of our previous meetings, we actually did, a meeting which included those, med QR bracelets. And just so you know, they have expanded that, so they also have, med QR bracelets for children, and they also have like bag tags or belt loop tags, you know, it's like a tag. Yes, yes. So, just for anybody, just really quickly, and we will share this information we send out for the fans. They're inconspicuous, they're waterproof, they're like 25 or 30 bucks. You buy it once, you have it. There's not a monthly, at least at this time, there's no subscription, there's nothing. And then you have the ability to go in and set up all the information that you want emergency personnel to know, which may include, you know, well, certainly contact information, diagnoses, allergies, meds. Who is in charge, you know, what, and so it really kind of runs the gamut of the uses for it, which is amazing, so that we were so excited, we heard about them and we push it a lot because it seems like a very reasonable and a smart thing, yeah.
I remember seeing them present, but I
Yeah.
can't remember, does it link you to like an online document or a
Correct.
PDF or?
Yeah, it to a portal and boom, that's, so, and it's
Okay.
inside, so for instance, when someone's wearing it, it's not like they're walking around with a QR code sitting right here.
Right.
It's pretty inconspicuous because people requested it that way, but it usually it'll has something imprinted on the top, so that you're like, oh, like an emergency would be like, oh, that's, looks like something. And you flip it onto the back and there's a QR code, the same.
And so you scan it and then on your phone, just a document pops up.
Boom.
And it only stays up for 5 minutes.
Correct,
Okay, so what, past 5 minutes, times out, you can't access it anymore? That was a concern, right?
So you can't,
Yeah.
right, so, and it's really, and for the ones that are like, more like a tag or whatever, the QR code's on the inside. So you, it's not like Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's no magnetic anything, it's legitimately. Just a code.
Something about when it's screenshotted, the person's contacted their
Yes.
daughter, somebody would be alerted that somebody.
Correct.
Whoever's on it as your emergency contact,
Yeah.
trying to alert to them, so that they
Okay.
know, so that way they can track it too.
Yep.
And you guys have 1,500 of these? I'm just like,
Gina,
No, not, I don't think 1,500.
What's that?
You said
no,
12
we
were
were
special.
We
Oh,
got
you
a
were
grant,
expecting,
yeah,
yes.
so we got a grant and we were able to get, I want to say 1,200 is what we got.
so somebody
Yeah.
launched one of these to be, say, hey, contact Gina? Contact Stephanie?
Yeah.
So, but right now, you're gonna get I'll put you on the list, and when we figure out our plan, I'll let you know.
Right.
And if you're in an outlying area, an outlying region, this is Washington County, an outlying region, I mean, it is.
very reasonable and it should count towards like a sundown or those types of things because it's a medically appropriate, you know.
And it like is
For
for,
safety
if you link with Washington County over 60, we haven't really, we're assuming that would be the population, there's no charge. So even that.
Right.
There's no charge, so if you want,
Make something you can use it.
or yeah, along the line, but like we would cover, we would subsidize that expense, but they are available, as Cynthia saying, to anyone who wants to check out their website for a variety of products, and it is that one-time fee.
And it's for, you know, like we begin to see applications for things like vulnerable children and vulnerable young adults or it, because it isn't, you can pick your color. I mean, you know, I have a medically fragile niece and she wasn't sure at first, so she had a backpack tag. And now she's like, I don't wanna always have that with me, so she's, you know, moving, she's picked her color and they're sending her, you know, so she'll have the bracelet as well. Just remind if you have kiddos though, that if they wanna show their friends how cool it is, that their mother and their aunt are gonna keep getting all these messages that something's wrong with them, so that's fun. Like, oh my gosh, where is she? But she just wanted to show them that it was cool, so have that discussion too. But yes,
If there's when there's an emergency and there's a bunch of EMS and firemen and whoever show up, who is the one that does the scanning? Like, is it just anybody? Is it-
yeah, whenever they go, or, you know, and like I said, I feel like a lot of EMF immediately are looking for, you know,
The only
the.
thing that-
Right, correct, and it's right there, you just, I mean, yeah, you flip it over and it's right there.
People are knowing about that.
Correct, and then it contacts people, hey, this was just scanned, why was that just scanned, and then, you know, you can follow up.
What was the name of the product or the company?
It's
SCC Med QR.
Yep. SCC Med QR, and we will put that in
For the minutes.
with our minutes too, so that you have the contact information for that, but we've really seen, just a lot of great applications for it, it's just a really smart thing. So, and very durable, I mean. It's been knocked around and whacked into things and whatever, and gosh, they're still going, so, you know, it's, they're very durable, which is pretty cool.
Is there anything out there for field staff? I mean, if the staff's out in the country and, you know, we have people all over around the country. Something similar for staff if they get into a situation where it would send an alert out?
That's a good question, I don't know. That the staff themselves are in unsafe, hey, I need help, that's a great. And just so you know, that's great, make sure we add that to the minutes, because everything we get here, one of the reasons for this. For us all getting together is for this kind of stuff, people can bring up like, hey, I wanted you to know I had this thought, I don't think we have anything for that. So thank you for bringing that up, we'll definitely, we certainly know.
They are, like, I come from hospitality, we have, yes, geolocated IDs that staff have to carry, God forbid something should happen in a
Right.
raid or something. They put it about it and then, you know, the general manager will get an alert saying that the housekeepers in room 325, for example.
Right.
Right, but
And
you run into
something's
the same problem where
Yeah.
there is no service or cell
Right.
tower, then how are you going to?
Right,
You know, because we are literally up in the
I do feel like there is a little more with GPS than there is with, but it depends on what you're using, you know, what they're using to do that.
Yeah, I've been researching it, I've had a conversation with the company I used in the hotel business,
That's
but
really
there's something,
smart.
I think we need to look into that for the staff that's out at.
Yeah, I think I can probably say with confidence that a good portion of us who have ever had to do in-home,
Yeah.
any sort of in-home visitation have at least once.
Encountered
Unfortunately
some kind of-
encountered some sort of situation that could have potentially or already was unsafe for the
Maybe
person.
Tim could do the research.
Yeah.
Got it.
Oh, you know, like, on the child protective supervisor looked into something. I'm gonna follow that up and see what it was, but I really do like something I did, feel back.
Yeah, because it has, also has to be cost efficient for a nonprofit, that's another thing, yeah.
Sorry.
My computer's gonna die, so I was trying to.
Oh, shoot. Okay,
pull it
got
out
it.
of my computer, but it's.
Okay, it's all right. We'll handle it as it comes. No worries. Okay, so, we thanked him. He's awesome, and that was awesome of him to come. Our next presenters that, we wanted to bring in are CDTA, so Mary and Alexis from CDTA, here to talk about, the services they offer and some of the stuff that I feel like, you know, definitely feel like, public transit is really needs to be utilized more because we need it more. So, and there are lots of options and ways to make that easier, as well as how to specifically work with folks with disabilities. So, CDTA began operations in the Greater Glens Falls area January of '24, replacing GGFT. The CDTA operates transit buses and star buses throughout the area. We have Mary and Alexis. Mary was with GGFT for over 35 years and now CDTA. So welcome, and you can, I don't know if you want to come on up. Do you see it on your end?
No, you have to share your screen.
Okay. And
Play from beginning up to the left.
yep, thank you. It's a little slow. We apologize for that. Not sure why that's happening.
All right, you just see it. Okay, yeah, just welcome, you can. Okay, it's frozen.
Huh?
It's frozen.
Oh,
But I'm gonna send it out with the meeting minutes anyway.
okay.
Yes. Good morning. Thank you for inviting us today. I came off of Greater Glens Falls Transit. So we've been operating transit since 1984 in this area. So we really worked hard, and a lot of you are familiar because we worked with your agency at some point. So CDTA started January 1st, 2024, came into our area, took over the operations for Greater Glens Falls Transit. So for the last year and a half, we've been transitioning, trying to move into the CDTA mode of the fares they offer. So we're no longer offering tokens or anything. We've moved into navigator passes, which we've worked with a lot of the counties on switching over to these tap cards. No token, and or you can just pay cash, which the fare is $1.50. The CDTA covers the same service area as Glens Falls did. As you can see, it's pretty large. We go as far north as Lake George, and we have just started a new route August 24th. We go down to Saratoga, the train station by Saratoga Hospital, that area. As you can see, the area is pretty large, so we cover the hospitals, we cover most of the HHN clinics in Queensbury, Fort Edward, Moreau, cover grocery stores,
most living places within the greater Glens Falls urban area. The next slide, I guess.
Getting started, you want to do the next one?
The next one. Okay, I bought some route schedule maps here, but you can always go on to cdta.org. And they'll give you, if you select your route, of the area you want to go to, it'll give you time frames. We haven't actually got over to the actual, like time. It still give you estimated times, but, soon I think we're gonna go live with, like, your bus is coming in 1 minute.
Nice.
Hopefully. Yeah,
Good with that?
paper routes, net schedules, yeah. So he's there, that's what we're trying to move to, either the cash for $1.50 or the Navigator card, which is a tap card. You can load money onto it. So when you get on the bus, you just tap it. If you use it 3 times a day, the 4th trip would be free.
Does that count like on, off, like transfers?
Yep. Yep, on, off, on.
And what do you do for the transfers? Like,
There are no transfers. It's an actual
you can't pay every tap.
$1.50.
Okay.
So it is beneficial to get the Navigator card, but because it taps $1.30 off. So it's saving you 20 cents, and then after 3 rides on a day, it's free. So you can use it.
Do the counties, because they don't do tokens anymore, do they give those cards out?
So they are getting, like, it's a tap to ride. It depends on the county. Some of them wanted different things. But generally, with their clients, they've been getting, it's a 2 ride. So it'll get them there and back, and they may give them a couple of the 2, but they look like that, half their.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Yes.
So I come from the nonprofit sphere, like Open Door Mission, Homeless Shelter / Unique, which is community services for Washington County. And in the past, we used to get tokens to give to our clients. Is that something that Navigator passes would be able to go to nonprofits who support our community as well?
Yes, you would call cdta.org, the sales department. They can take care of it. They've been, I can give you that number. Give you my number because I'm not sure what their number is.
482-8822, area code 5.
482-8822.
And if you ask for Natasha, she's been the reference to work with the county and all the agencies, family services, trying to think of other ones.
And you're saying they would offer a 2-ride Navigator pass?
Yes, or something like that. It depends on what the agency is best for the agency. And what they, like, some are longer term because they know that person's going to work back and forth.
Right.
So that's gonna be more beneficial than a 2-ride pass, which they're not sure that person will come back or. So if you explain what you want, they will work out something for you. The best item. Thank you.
Is, one question regarding that, is there something that you could buy for a monthly pass, like to, at a discount rate that's unlimited use?
Yes, it's the Navigator Pass. You can add fare to it at the Glens Falls City Hall and City Clerk's office or Market 32 on Glen Street. They're selling the card and they will add the amount, the monthly fare or a certain dollar amount if you don't.
Is there a rate for nonprofits?
Again, I would call the sales office and explain what you want and see what they.
Do you know if the Navigator passes that the counties pass out are reloadable?
I believe not. I believe they're just set for 2 rides unless they have something else set up that they're handing out to a person who maybe is going to work every day for 5 days or something, and they've been sold something different.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. And half bear. So there's a half bear navigator pass. We've done about 6 half bear sessions. They're good for people over 65, disabled, veterans. If you come to the half bear session, you fill out a form, we help you fill it out. You just show proof of your disability, your age, then you'll get a half bear card. They'll take it back, process it. It has a picture on it. And then you're eligible for half bear, 75 cents. If you put any money on the card, when you tap your card, it'll take off 65 cents instead of 75. So additional savings if you're senior, disabled, or a veteran.
Just a question about that. What about the individuals that are pending social security disability, that are disabled, haven't been able to work, that are maybe temporarily receiving temporary assistance while their application's pending? Are they eligible at all?
Yeah, so they can always fill out a medical determination form, give it to their doctors, have the doctor fill it out, and they won't bring it back to you guys directly. They have to bring it to one of CDTA's sales sites. And they'll bring that along with $2 and they'll be able to get a half bear card in the program.
Oh, perfect. Great. Thank you.
Great. We will have another half bear session. A lady who generally does it is off for a little bit. So she will be back. I believe we're planning for sometime in October. We've been holding them at the Glens Falls City Hall.
Great.
But if you can't wait till then, you can also take the new route, 713, which leads from Ridge Street. It'll go down to Saratoga train station, and there's a half fare station open there, which you can get the half fare process there also.
Okay.
And pretty much it's the bus stops. It is not a flag stop, or you do actually have to be at a bus stop. And the trolleys they're in between. We also operate the trolley service up to Lake George. Glens Falls to Lake George has the trolley stops. North to Bolton, they're still a little open. You flag it, they'll stop for you. But all throughout the rest of the area, you have to be at a bus stop. Some drivers will stop, let you on, and tell you next time you need to be at the stop. Our buses all have, they're low floor buses, so a ramp pops out if you need to get on the wheelchair. The driver will secure the wheelchair, but other than that, walkers and everything, you'll just go up the ramp, sit in the seats. And start.
All right, anything past this one or no?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay. Hi, my name is Alexis. I'm gonna be here to talk about STAR. I am the ADA certification manager. So I approve and deny applications, and make sure that those who are approved are qualified for the program. And I advocate for the individuals, once you are in the program, in the organization, to just make sure that we are putting their needs at the forefront of transportation. So to qualify for STAR, you have to have a disability that prevents you from taking the regular fixed route bus. So a disability alone would not qualify an individual. So when you're assisting or explaining applications to the people that you work with in the community, they want to be very specific. Is the community accessible? Is there seatings at that bus stop? I saw one, but are all bus stops fully accessible? Is there a bus stop that has no sidewalk to access it for someone who has a disability where they're in a wheelchair or uses a mobility device where they're unable to get onto that rough terrain? Is there a lot of intersections in the community that don't have the accessible buttons to safely walk at a crosswalk? So you want to keep all that information in mind when assisting someone. This program is really for individuals with disabilities. So it's not age related, it's not for the senior or the elderly. As you know, as an elderly individual, you can have a disability like arthritis. That might affect each and every one of us in this room. So it's really how that diagnosis stops you from being able to go out and access a bus that is fully accessible. As Mary said, our regular fixed route line buses, they have that front door. They have the low kneeling, that goes equal to the sidewalk. They have the ramp. You have to ask for the ramp unless you are utilizing a mobility device that we can visibly see that you require the ramp. You have your first 6 seats in the front of the vehicle. That's normally for the disabled community, the old, the elderly. So you are allowed to get on our vehicles with a service animal. So it really depends on how it prevents you from taking that regular fixed route bus. So once you are eligible, before you're eligible, you have to fill out an application. The application you can apply online directly at cdta.org, or you can download the PDF version. The only thing with the application online, CDTA is in the process of updating their website. It's only the first half of the application, the part A. They really need a medical part B to give over to their doctor, a medical professional, licensed therapist of some kind that oversees their medical care to support their diagnosis and what they're saying on their application. Without that information, I will receive an application and I will send them the medical part B in the mail, along with a letter that says your application has been marked incomplete according to the FDA rules and regulations, and all that information will be on there. It'll also give them directions to pass this along, to sign the medical release form, and to hand this over to a medical provider that will receive their medical care. Once we receive all that information, we have 21 days to process their application. I don't like to sit on paper, so I normally process it within the first 2 weeks. On average, I see 300 applications a month, and that does not include the Glens Falls area. We have a little bit, but not a lot. So I can imagine with the help of you guys, this would really expand into the community. The thing about STAR is that we're comparable to the fixed route bus. It's a paratransit service. So it's important that the ridership on the regular fixed route bus is there. It's important that each and every one of us in this room at least rides the bus once a day, once a week, once a month. If the regular fixed route bus disappears from the Glens Falls area, let's say because the ridership is low and you as a community feel like there's not a need for regular fixed route bus transportation, STAR would also leave. So there's really, and that's the federal FTA, ADA rules, regulations, and guidelines. So it's important each and every one of us encourage our community, our friends, our family members to take that regular fixed route bus if we are physically able and cognitively able to get on that regular line bus. So once you do qualify for STAR, you will receive an approval letter. There are different eligibility terms. You can be given an unconditional eligibility, which means you can ride at any time of the day, any time of the year. Nothing really prevents you from riding our STAR paratransit services. You can be given a conditional eligibility. Let's say you are utilizing a mobility aid that in the winter months, you're unable to reach that regular fixed route bus, but in those summer months, you can get on the line bus, you can enjoy the community, and be with every other individual. We have transitional eligibility. We work with the high schools as well as colleges for students that may have the ability to one day understand the regular fixed route bus, and we'll work with our travel trainers in the community on how to read schedules, how to recognize landmarks, and how to recognize the bus stops, where to get on and where to get off, depending on if they're going to work or school. And you can be given a transitional eligibility as an adult. So it's not just for students or those who are underage. There are a temporary eligibility, which basically means each and every one of us in this room could possibly qualify for. You can get up today and hurt yourself, fall off of the ladder, as Tim said, break a leg, break an arm, something that you have a temporary disability within the next 6 months or a year, depending on what your medical provider puts on your documentation stating you're receiving some type of services, then you would qualify for STAR. If you happen to know anyone who's in dialysis, cancer treatments, those are your 24-hour turnarounds. They would automatically get approved. We give them the maximum of 3 years. We understand that is the end of life stage that they have to go through, and we don't want to make it difficult for them. So if you guys send in cancer or dialysis applicants, we do need the medical documentation from their provider. We can even set up subscription trips to make it a more easier process for them, but that will be an approval over 24 hours turnaround. Question about that.
So do you like try to clump them together, so you're bringing like 3 people to the DCI center at the same time, or like coordinate times for the dialysis, and are they eligible for it 3 days a week, 4 days a week, whatever the need is?
Yeah, so if you are in dialysis or cancer treatment, you're given that unconditional eligibility. Our software program would look at this community as a whole and kind of fit in like a puzzle of each and every one of those trips. So if we have, let's say, 30 people riding at 5 o'clock, we want to make sure that we have enough vehicles at that 5 o'clock time. We'll group them on the same vehicle if they're in the same location around the same time, going to the same destination. So it would make sense. We wouldn't drive them past their stop and then eventually drop them off. So we do have a software program system that does group those trips together. I believe as of right now, we only have
We have 1 star bus.
one
Or
star
one
bus.
star bus.
Our ridership is
It's
seven a
low.
day.
Yeah. How many days?
7 a day.
7 a day, and you only go within the bus route.
3/4 of a mile beyond.
That's correct. So each and every bus stop you see out in the community, Star operates 3/4 of a mile from that individual bus stop. As of right now, we don't have our service map up. But once we do have it up and running, I'll make sure to send that
Yeah.
information out to the group. So that way you guys can have a visual and see exactly where the client address or destination falls out of our service area. Under the FTA rules and regulations, we are not allowed to go outside of those service boundaries or for the same times and days. So since we're comparable to the regular fixed route bus, if there is a destination that someone wants to go that is on the outside of our service area, we'll bring them to the closest possible location, to a safe location, McDonald's, Stewart's, Walmart, something where well lit, sleeping, and that they feel safe and comfortable with enough people around to get left at. They would have to find their own transportation from that location on to their final destination, and then vice versa on their way back.
So does this run with the same like Navigator Pass type 150 per ride, or is it a different service with Star?
It would be considered different. So under the FTA 88 rules and regulations, we are allowed to charge twice of the normal fare, which is $1.50, but CDTA only charges $2.50 per each Star trip. It's only 50 cents less than twice the original amount, but it's a really great deal, right? You're getting picked up at your house. It is a door-to-door transportation. The operator will get out of the door and assist that client from the door of their home to the vehicle and in and out of the vehicle on their destination. And that's if their home address falls within the service area. We do not charge for the distance, the time, the location. It is just a flat rate of $2.50. So it's a really good service compared to others out there like Medicaid, or Uber or Lyft, just other transportation agencies that may charge a little bit more.
Have you guys met with the cancer center at Montville Hospital yet?
I do not know. I just been back to paternity leave, so I haven't met anyone over here yet. I think I've been to a couple of places before I left, but yes. Definitely give my information out to the community. I advocate for these clients and I advocate for the community, and there are some areas that I wish CDTA would be able to go to, but since the community doesn't feel there is a need. So since we are here, let's get as many individuals to ride on the regular fixed route bus so STAR can support the disability community.
And, oh, sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay.
I don't know if you realize that I feel very, very strongly about this, just the reminder that the more we use it and the more we ring the bells that, hey, actually, we need it here and it's being utilized, the further it's gonna go and the more opportunities there are for folks. I also think, so as the nurse evaluator for 2 Medicaid waiver programs, you know, I see an awful lot of currently Medicaid will cover some social transportation. And it's not the solution, guys. It's not the solution. Are there times when it's appropriate? Absolutely. Is it the be all end all solution? It is absolutely not. And we are absolutely seeing other Medicaid programs who no longer have social transportation, right? This is the solution. A community effort of we can do these things. It's new. for outlying areas like us. It's not new if you live in Albany, but it's new for us and new can be difficult. But the other thing that I don't know if you're planning on getting to, but they have folks that actually will do in-services with anyone. So like we are gonna have one for our providers of like, hey, how as I as a living skills trainer, I'm gonna take my client and use the bus route when I don't never use the bus route. Well, guess what? They're gonna come and they're gonna teach you and they're gonna teach school students and you know, all those sorts of things. Because we need to be using it more, like this, we've been talking for years about how transportation is an issue. And the other thing that I think we really need to strongly encourage is, and this is even harder, where the community bus route goes for all populations is where the Star bus route is gonna go, right? So the only people utilizing the service end up being the Star when they could absolutely, if you live in a housing complex that has a bus stop right in front of it, I hear how it would be great to have some of the other forms of transportation that we also have in the community that kind of feels like a chauffeur, which we absolutely need too. They can't do it all. But they don't, but if you have lived your whole life and have never even been on a bus in your life and don't realize how very easy it is and how comfortable it can be, you're not gonna use it. So if we all don't start, all in addition to, we've been ringing this bell for years that we need more transportation. There are opportunities for that to continue to happen for us. The more we use it, the larger it becomes, the more opportunities we have for the Star bus for folks who legitimately could not use, but we're not using it enough for sure. So we also, if you can, I do have contacts with CDTA as well for the trainers, but I think that's gonna be huge for us, that you literally just call them and say, we wanna book a session and we're gonna have, I don't know if you have lunch trainings or things like that, or Max, if you say, hey, can we have them come, you know, for our folks here? I mean, they will train and they will also, like, if you could talk a little more about like folks who don't know how to use it and they're gonna work with someone through CDTA, how that works.
Yeah, so as of right now, we have 2 travel trainers.
Travel trainers, that's what they're called,
And
yes. They're fabulous, by the way.
We
They're
have 2
awesome.
travel trainers, his name is Joanne and the other one is Barb. So they'll meet the client at the nearest, or the group of individuals at the nearest bus stop, close to their home. And like I said, they'll assist them recognizing the bus, going over the schedules, getting on the bus and getting to like Price Chopper or Walmart or their jobs or other families, just places in the community that they would like to learn and go. They'll do 3 sessions. The first session is really them giving as much information as possible, looking at the landmarks, being comfortable with asking the bus driver information, recognizing specific safeties and accessibilities on our vehicles. And then the second session is really a little hands off with some minimal guidance. And then that third session is really that individual by themselves as that travel trainer steps behind. If we're doing a big, large group, you know, we'll come out and speak to the individuals. Sometimes we're going to get into a fun scavenger hunt and split into 2 different groups. Have to take specific pictures at certain landmarks, and then we at the end, you kind of see who made it there first. So we do make it fun, we make it eventful. I am not a travel trainer, but I do always attend these events because if we're working with the community and there's someone there just not able to really grasp the regular fixed route bus, you can really see they need Star. You can hear from what they're saying and asking for help on that they need Star. I would be able to assist them beyond that point. So we are hands-on and I will attend as many events as possible. I love getting out of the office. And we do have, like you said, those travel trainers information for Barb and Joanne. I don't believe there's a flyer over there, but we can give you guys access to that flyer as well. Or you can go to cdta.org and find the travel trainers information under your mobility tab. So Star is comparable to the regular fixed route bus. We operate for the same times and days. So if there's a bus route that operates from Sunday to Saturday, from 5 AM until 10 PM, and you live within that 3/4 of a mile of that specific bus route, your home address or the destination you're going to will have the same service for Sunday to Saturday from 5 AM to 10 PM. We did add in a commuter route. A commuter route is not a fixed route bus. And that's your 713. So that's the connection from Glens Falls to Saratoga. We made the decision to not make it a commuter route as of right now, because it would be a huge increase, at least for our lower capital region area coming up to the Glens Falls area. We want to make sure that we give this specific county an opportunity to get on that Star bus. So as of right now, you will not be able to get on a Star bus and get that connection from Glens Falls to Saratoga. But we can bring them to the line bus if they are able, if we bring them to that bus stop, take that bus to Saratoga, and then they can access Star once they're in Saratoga and travel all over the capital region. We go out to Troy, Albany, Schenectady. We go as far up as Amsterdam, Glenmont, Delmar, a little bit of Ravino. We go up 920 into Nassau. Unfortunately, we don't cover Clifton Park. We don't cover specific areas over there in Malta or kind of really off of that New York 50 on the outskirts. So I know there's a lot of dialysis centers and treatment centers. So it's really important as a community, we just get people to ride the regular line bus and get access to Star because it is their civil rights to have access to public transportation. And without that public transportation, they wouldn't have the assistance at home.
We actually have a couple runs we do with Glens Falls School since it's a non-busing district. We've done school runs. We started that quite a few years ago and CBTA's continued it on as we do a shopper shuttle on Saturday for Bay Road, which service the Willows apartments and the Cedars apartments. And there's quite a few people who get on, they enjoy it. They, a little group, and they go out shopping, it goes to certain places. And then on the second run back, it reverses and drops people off and pretty much keep track of who went out and who's coming back. So they're pretty good. Yeah.
If a Glens Falls resident who is a participant in the STAR program went to the South Glens Falls stop at the plaza, would they be able to utilize that to go to Saratoga Springs?
Yes.
Because they were within the same.
Service area.
It starts off at Ridge Street, it goes all the way down to 17 on the northway, so it goes right through the village. And then down Route 9, gets on the northway, goes down to 15 and gets off, goes. Near the Saratoga Hospital.
They couldn't pick it up. My point was, they couldn't pick it up at Ridge Street across from City Hall in Glens Falls. But they
The
could
Star
cross-
bus.
Yeah, the Star bus, they could cross the bridge. And pick it up at the shopping plaza there in South Glens Falls.
When they sign up for the ride or register, yes, they could have them drop them off at Ridge Street, have them drop them off at on the plaza, and then the 713 could pick them up to take them down to Saratoga.
And then also if someone has an aide.
Yeah, so since we're public transportation, PCA, we don't recognize as someone who's medically trained or certified. It could just truly be a friend or family member, someone who's also physically disabled, but assisting that individual in what their needs are. So that PCA would ride for free. We would have to know at the time of booking. And they are allowed up to 2 other individuals as well, but those 2 other individuals being marked down as a companion, and they would have to pay the $2.50 per trip. So that kind of leads us into reservations. Star, you're not allowed to make same day trips. Trips have to be made in advance 1 week up until the day before by 4 PM. So for example, if you need trips all the way up till next Thursday, you can book them today. Or if you need something for tomorrow, you have to call today before 4 o'clock. You can call the Star number, the 518-482-2022, hit option 3, and they'll be able to transfer you over to the Glens Falls area. Or you can go, you can't go online right now, nope, so in the future, they'll be able to go online and book their own trips. And hopefully within the next 2 years, we will have an app base that gives them the access to do it, a friend or a family member to assist them or directly on their.
And if the person's gonna get a lot of groceries, it would be good to have someone go with them. The driver's not able to enter their home.
That is correct. So it's a door-to-door transportation services. These are just your regular street bus operators. They're not medically trained or licensed, but in emergency services, we will summon the police and fire and EMS. So they're not allowed to touch that client's personal belongings. We want to ensure the operators are not found in a position to be held liable for something's missing, broken, or stolen. They are required to provide reasonable assistance, and that does not fall under reasonable assistance under the law. So reasonable assistance is assisting them on and off the vehicle, assisting them with pushing their wheelchair to and from the door, and assisting their walkers or canes, depending on if they're getting in the vehicle and you're putting it in the back of the vehicle. Awesome. Any questions about STAR? All right, so to get started, go online and apply. We'll send you guys the medical part B. I can also send the full application of the most recent updated one into the group, as well as the STAR handbook, our most recent latest version. I'll also send in the medical determination forms because that comes from the intake department as well. And the travel training information. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
And slideshow. I also, I just kind of did want to put in one extra plug for the transitional STAR, because again, I have seen so many times where we've had people, there is someone who perhaps people thought were not capable of riding the regular bus, but they are, or we aren't sure. Is that appropriate to say you could start out with transitional and then be like, yeah, this is not gonna work? Would that be an appropriate option?
So it really, so when you guys complete the application, it's really, if they fall under the category of transitional, then yes.
Okay.
They can go through the program with the travel trainers, and if the travel trainers feel at the end that they would truly be a good fit for STAR, then they would be
Okay.
given unconditional eligibility from that point.
Got it. Awesome. Thank you. And I'm myself, I'm not only the NHG waiver program, but traumatic brain injury. So we have lots of folks who are capable and independently minded, but perhaps need a bit more time to learn and support, to learn a new skill. So, or to see if that's gonna be an appropriate goal, or if we have to adjust the goal. So I'm thinking on that line as well. They're probably gonna have a lot of those, as time goes by, from a lot of different backgrounds. So I love that idea. Thank you very much. Let me just, and I'm sorry, we lost our chat. So there it goes. Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Just a reminder to everybody who is joining us. Okay, your PowerPoint's gonna be sent out. Yes, we know. We apologize that the slides are not advancing. If you're joining us remotely, again, if you could please put your name and where you're from in the chat, so we make sure that we get everybody, that would be great. Unfortunately, we do not have a presenter from Rebuilding Together, so we will revisit that at a later date, because I think that there's gonna be a lot of great information there. So we have Kathy and Stephanie gonna give us a quick update on, on podcast.
You're on your own.
Her email. So Stephanie is on here. She needs to access the computer on her email to pull up the slide.
Wait, let me see if I can. Maybe I can find it.
Yeah, you could email me.
Yeah,
Just put it. No, actually, it's the left.
I know, but I think she put it up already.
It's like.
No, she
it's
pulled
okay.
up the
She did pull up the.
Yeah, Margaret.
I did send it to me.
It's a lot. Small. No, I haven't seen one.
Did she send it to you? Or-
Erica, yes.
And then. And then you'll just share the screen.
Well, I mean, sorry, excuse me, that, but we have, yeah, full tank.
Yeah, I looked at it.
Yeah, I know, I spoke to someone about it.
I know, but I forgot. Yeah.
Stephanie, I got it. Oh.
Sorry about that.
Thanks, yeah.
So our time is almost up, we're gonna get you out of here.
Yeah,
We don't have plans.
No,
we do not.
she is not. So, our time is almost up, but Stephanie Rainey and myself, Kathy Bear, are ICAP counselors, which are basically Medicare counselors. I do Warren and Hamilton counties, Washington County. So we just want a quick blurb stating that the Medicare open enrollment will be coming up. We have heard that there's going to be a lot of changes with plans. Again, plans are going to be terminated for people, so anybody that is on Medicare, please tell them to read their mail. Read their mail.
Yes.
They are going to get an ANA, which is an annual notice of change, telling them what their changes will be for their plan. Or they will get a termination notice, a termination notice saying that their plan will be terminated. And we do know some plans will be terminated, not exactly which ones yet. Some plans will be terminated.
We also know that some plans that are currently maybe lower or zero premiums, may change and increase in price. And I'm just gonna note the prescription drug coverage tiering and percentage and copays is changing, going up drastically.
Deductibles are going up.
Yeah.
Quite a bit on prescription drugs. Tier 3 medications are going up to a percentage of the retail cost.
Which is huge for our folks.
Yes.
Huge. Very, very.
Oh, she,
Okay, so Kate Barkley is one of our local agents for Medicare that we utilize quite often. So Kate,
So there's also a couple plans that might be like HMO POS 2025, next year, they're gonna be an HMO. There might be
Right.
some plans that the plan number is exactly the same, but they have a brand new name next year. So it's like, oh gosh, did I lose my plan? Do I have to pick another one, or did the name just change?
further way to confuse our folks even more.
Yes, so that big like Medicare and Me 2026 Bible-sized book that people get every year, all of the 2026 plans are listed in the back. So you can also encourage people to be like, my plan, I don't see it.
Yeah.
But in everybody's mailboxes by September 2nd, I believe, most carriers have to have their letters out to people. So I know I'm doing a lot of
letters
there,
out saying about the plan change.
their ANOC letters
Their ANOC.
or termination letters. So. October 2nd.
I'm
sorry.
Today's September. October.
Yeah.
So you can direct them to their Office of the Aging, to their hard care counselors. We are going to be very busy. You may have to turn people away, sometimes we turn them to agents like Kate. We will turn Sale. Sale does have them.
Myself is also.
I don't know, Phil booked up at like the first week last year. They were booked out like to the end of the season.
It was in, last year was like, yeah, we were booked so fast, we had people calling, it was.
You were referred back to us.
Yeah, because we were like,
Yeah.
there were so many people,
And
there were so many things happening, so we anticipate it's gonna be.
That's
So we have to
state.
refer them.
Yeah, the state does open up a helpline at some point, so if we do get too inundated with calls and we get.
Yep.
The situation we were in last year with Sale, and our other agencies that we work with, the state has agreed to take our overflow calls, and help those people. So when it comes down to December 7th, last day of open enrollment, oh my God, it's my, oh crap moment. We'll help you, we'll be there. for
But
you.
if your plan is terminated, you do not have a December 7th deadline. It's a special enrollment period that is to the end of the year. So you have until midnight on December 31st.
And we did see that last year, and what I know Gordon and Hamilton does something similar, we'll shuffle. And your plan's terminated, I'm sorry, I got someone whose plan is, really needs to be in a plan by December 7th, I'll call you on the 10th. Or whatever the case may be, so you may hear people complaining that they got like pushed off, it is just an organizational tool for priority, it is, I don't know. what you-
Triage, it's
Yeah, I love
triaging is
that.
what you
That's
really
what it
are,
is.
right? Cause you're talking people's health insurance, which keeps us all alive.
So, is it only Medicare, not Medicaid, or is Medicaid?
Medicare.
Medicare.
Do you guys have any information on when Medicaid is gonna be dropping people? Is it the same
It
period?
goes off of the recertification period, but there's some changes in the Medicaid right now.
Yeah.
Coming down by
No updates on
right
that.
now, I think the biggest thing for any Medicaid individual is to keep your Medicaid active.
Yes, please.
Please keep your Medicaid active, do not let it relapse, do not let it close. If you need recertification papers, get those papers in. Reach out to your local office of aging. What's gonna happen is with the Medicaid changes that are rolling down the pipeline, somebody loses their Medicaid, say we have like my 83-year-old grandmother loses her Medicaid. She's got all of these great features, including she's enrolled in Medicare, dual plan, whatnot, loves her providers. She loses her Medicaid, she didn't submit like a bank statement or whatever.
Yep.
And then they have to reapply. Now, all new sorts of requirements and regulations apply to their new case and they lose everything that they were so accustomed to all this time. So, and there's really no way to,
And there's no program that offers.
there's no way to, at the moment, there's no way to prevent that from happening. They just have to reapply. Unless we can keep their Medicaid active straight through. So whatever you can do, those like, I just need this, it's better for everybody involved, because they get the same insurance and,
Again, read
yes.
the mail. Yes, so many people don't read their mail, I think it's John's. So that's a big thing. Just at least open it up, look, a lot of times it is John, at least read it.
And then I know for Kathy, it's two of them, Kathy and Anna, I'm pretty sure Anna's on, hi, Anna. It's just them for Warren and Hamilton
We
County.
have two counselors for two counties, so.
Right, that's it. Yes,
Sorry, so is the letter to be received by October 2nd or sent out by October 2nd?
They should be email access. Each box, yes. And we don't have any new plan information until October 1st. So we don't have any new plan information yet for the 2026 plans, what's terminating, and what's new coming in. So,
and then we did get notifications, you might have some questions, which a great time to be doing this.
the CMS letter.
Oh, yes, right.
Oh,
I
gosh.
was gonna say, sorry.
Go ahead.
So now they're sending out billions, 2 billions of people, CMS, the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services, is sending out all of these great outreach letters right now. Telling people about different programs such as EPIC, MSP, that they could potentially be eligible for. But it really just muddies the waters in the middle of an already bogged down mailing system. You've got spam mail, you've got advertisers, you've got real mail you should be reading. And then you've got these mass mailings that are going out.
So every Medicare beneficiary, which not everybody's gonna call, but we'll get calls.
Well, get calls. I have received one call so far. The same day I got the email, so I'm like, oh boy, but only one thus far. But that does just add to the confusion that, like, as Kathy said, they're going out to everybody, so not everyone's gonna qualify. So it's a lot of screening, a lot of extra work, and what fantastic timing. I just can't speak that enough, but it is a good time to get that word out there, because there are special enrollment periods that are eligible or that are available for certain people that are eligible for programs. These cost saving programs such as EPIC, MSP, Medicaid. So we always like to keep that in mind for those people that get into a pickle, that we can't get them enrolled in their plan within the set time that we're holding. That's where we work with our lovely agents, they help us out so much.
On October 15th, which is the first day of annual enrollment, Hannah and Kathy during the day, noon, are going to be presenting, and I will be presenting that evening, specifically geared toward the professional clientele, you guys. It's not going to be plan specific about, each individual carrier, but it is going to be 2026 Medicare basic information. It's gonna be a Medicare 101. Maybe we could put it out in the digest.
Oh, yeah, sure, send it.
Yeah, if you want to send it to me.
Okay, absolutely.
Yeah.
So Kim Hans is hosting us
Yes.
because we'll be at the new Herzog.
Herzog
location,
Law
yes,
Firm.
on Bay Road,
At Fowler Square.
Fowler Square, there you go.
Fowler Square, Herzog Law Firm.
So 12 to 1:30, there will be lunch provided, and then 5:30 to 7, we'll do like light dinner. For those who.
Nice.
We'll get registration on it.
Yep, fantastic.
Okay.
Any agency updates?
So we have to go. Gina, thank you.
Okay.
To do it,
Thank you all, and it's a lot
Yes,
warmer.
they're gonna give a
there.
quick agency update because I know there's like another meeting like right after this, guys.
I'm really sorry about the.
Okay, go.
Okay, so I think so Warren, Hamilton and Washington County get to do this first. It's the only time we get to do first. But the Association on Aging was awarded a grant to HUD called the Older Adults Home Modification Program. So it's basically modifications that can be done in the home to keep seniors there, so low income. So the eligibility requirements are they have to be 62 years of age or older. They have to rent or own the primary residency, and they have to provide proof of this, so they have to be listed on the lease agreement or on the deed. The household income has to be less than or equal to 80% of the local area median income, and I've written those out. They have to provide proof of income, and it's for anybody in the household that is 18 years and older. So if a grandchild lives with them, their income if they're over 18 too. And then the maximum a grant award is $5,000 in household. We've listed off the types of modifications, so basically, if you have a senior that you think is eligible for this, you refer them to my office or to Gina's office. We have a form that we have to fill out, we collect the proof of the residency and the income. Then we forward that information to the Association on Aging, and then they work with their a local entity. Or an entity to do a home assessment, actually done by an occupational therapist, and then local contractors, which are through Lowe's. So we just wanted to make you guys aware of this. I did send an email out to some of our local agencies on Friday. Not everybody included in the email, because the ones I could email. But we'll send this with the meeting minutes, so you guys have it. And again, if you have any people you think might be eligible, refer them to Washington County or Warren.
Based on the residents.
Yep, based on where their residency is, yes.
So I think first off, I'm extremely excited about this because for like the last 10 years, every public hearing I've held, have always talked about the need to do home modifications. So the fact that Association on Aging like put themselves out there, applied for the first federal grant, and were awarded, this is very, very exciting news for all of us. So that said, there is a difference between home modifications and rehabilitation.
Yeah.
Right, so on here, these are the modifications that we can grant. But if you're talking about like remodeling a bathroom or major electrical requirements, heating and cooling system replacements, major plumbing, permanent ramps, permanent lifts, replacing windows, doors, that type of home rehab, that doesn't fall under this. So just to really clarify the difference between the home modification and home rehabilitation.
Well, actually, some of that stuff can be done, but it's a much longer process.
Or
They actually,
some minor electrical
Yeah.
repairs, but not major.
so basically refer to us and we'll
Yeah, somebody's looking for a whole room replacement, that's not.
Yeah.
Any questions on that? I know it's just a quick overview.
And then it'll all go out with the minutes, so you'll get all those.
Alright,
Any other, I know quick, I'm sorry, this is a good meeting today, but we took a long time, we don't usually do that. Any agency updates that you really wanna make sure, get out, and also if you don't have stuff with you today, like I said, you can just, email to Erica or the Wwh Ltcc. Yeah,
Peak's Hospice is having our chicken barbecue dinner on October 16th. I think
Okay.
they are willing to deliver locally up to 10 miles for 10 or more dinners. So if you have anybody that wants to do that,
County building, I think.
yes.
Oh, that's
I'll share the
awesome.
flyer when we get back to the office and you can spread the word.
yeah, send that to, definitely send the information to Erica.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Same with Peaks Hospice, so we're also having our remembrance gathering for anyone that lost a loved one. It's really designed for people that lost someone in the last year at that kind
Yeah.
of park on September 20th. Max is gonna be there with his band playing, with the orchestra playing some music for us too. But it's just gonna be a nice ceremony, it's 10:30 in the morning. You can go to our website and RSVP if you know someone that just might be struggling or might need a little connection or can benefit. And so it's just really nice.
great, thank you. That was great.
Head Start is in open enrollment at the moment, and we have a lot of slots open for children between the ages of 18 months to 5 years old, through all of Washington County right now. There are slots available.
Nice, that's awesome. Yeah,
Kevin and I brought some information on the federal SNAP program. These
Perfect.
numbers are good until October 1st. If anyone wants to or needs to contact me regarding proposed upcoming in SNAP.
yeah,
Give me a call and track some of these on your way out if you'd like to.
Warren County Health Services can have a party program. I know it's long-term care council group, but
no, this is the whole thing.
everybody's.
Yes,
I
it
mean,
says long-term care, but it's literally from the
yes.
moment you're born on, so we love that.
Anytime, so anybody can qualify, whether it's parents, grandparents, it's income eligibility based, so if you have SNAP, big, disability, DSS,
Perfect,
Medicaid, any of that, so just give the health services a call and
okay,
take care of it. We have done community events, the next one is happening October 16th, it's at West Glens Falls Fire Station. It is, it's Thursday and it's from 3 to 5:30, so
Perfect.
anybody with a car seat check. If they qualify for distribution, we have car seats that we give out to. We just had yesterday a family, no car, no transportation. They came on the bus. We showed them the installation in our county car. And they took the car seat with them because they'll drive around or I mean, have a.
Yeah,
handicap,
whatever you need,
they
yeah.
want. And I'll share the flyers.
Please do.
Yes, we'll do.
We have our Washington County Health and Wellness Fall Festival coming up. That is on October 2nd. I'll make sure that our flyer gets out to the long-term care council digest. But that also is an opportunity for individuals who have questions about Medicare plans. We have a variety of Medicare providers on site, and then people can ask at that time. They'll have information about plans. So they can come and get events free. We also have takeout lunch, as well as several providers are also present, and have somebody from Kansas Pharmacy doing vaccines.
nice.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah,
You go
Ben.
first.
Okay, Senior Center in Kingsbury, Florida, where we're having our annual chicken barbecue fundraiser on Sunday, September 21st to the 4th. Stop by.
Nice.
So we're doing our open house for our new office next week, the 7th, 10 to noon. Everybody's welcome to come stop by. We have a great presentation space, so we're looking for community partners to offer education. Don't need to partner with us specifically. If you have something you want to do and you need space, course groups, meetings, whatever. We really want to be a community center.
What day next week?
The 17th, so it's Wednesday, so.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry, first time off.
get that? Should you be planned to get there in the beginning or can you come anytime during that? Okay,
There'll be a ribbon cutting, whatever.
right.
Anytime between 10.
Nice.
Warren Hamilton is having our senior fall festival on the 25th. Warren County Fish Hatchery, I know most of you guys are gonna be there, and if you're not, you really should be.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah. If you didn't get an invitation, let me know, because I don't know if we invited you guys, but you guys are welcome to come as soon as you can.
So the conference center won't be there only because I have a drive well program that day. And it's the lady from Sunnyview Rehabilitation that's coming up to kind of discuss what they do down there for the driving rehab kind of stuff.
Yeah, driving rehab,
Yeah, I have one excuse.
I don't think that's it. So anything online?
I don't see any new chat. There's not the original 8, so I think we're good. For anybody joining us, because we have gone over, my apologies about that. Like I said, send anything to Erica so that we can add it to the minutes. Nothing else we need to.
Oh, with the next meeting.
Oh,
we do
yeah.
have a date and a location, and it is December 10th at the Glen, the 10th.
Yeah, so just a reminder for those who usually join us virtually and for those who might, our December meeting is not a virtual meeting. Our December meeting, we decided a couple of years ago, along with the council at large, with all the things that go on and all the stress that happens, the December meeting is literally just a time to come together, say hello, maybe say hello to somebody new. In years past, we tried to find some sort of relaxing exercise or some fun craft or something and just get together and have food and say hello. And I believe like legitimately just say hi and who you are, where you're from and kind of what you do to help. But it's
Big network.
big network.
It is the 8th, sorry, not the 10th, I was looking at my phone. And
We'll put it all in there, but it will not be virtual.
And it is great, like not only networking, like Cash just said, but we go around and determine what resources people are looking for.
Yes.
And we use those to determine what
The
our
next
quarterly
year.
meetings for the following year should be focused
Correct.
on. So bring your focus points, bring like what you've been racking your brain looking for, and we can see what we can do to make those connections for the
Yeah.
community.
And the design and intent of that meeting is to be low preparation and high on fun. You know,
And you will get a New York Times resource directory overview.
right. All right, so somebody wants to motion to close the. Kathy, we're good.
Thanks,
Awesome.
everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you guys for coming.
Is it?